What's going on, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today we're taking a look at the newly released Vosteed Akita. While we're diving in, let us know down in the comments what your EDC is today. So yes, the new Akita and the second design featuring the Vanker lock here from Vosteed, which is their pivot-based button lock, and it's going to be completely different than what you would get with a plunge lock. That is going to be one of the main draws to this knife right here. The Vanker lock, as we saw with the On Kilo, I had a couple of different renditions of the On Kilo with the Vanker lock, and Vosteed, I have to say, absolutely crushed that new lock. It is really, really well done. It is seemingly, out of the ones that I have had and been able to use and test, the lock is tremendous. It's really strong. I have not had a single issue with it. It is a very robust system. I'll pop up a couple of photos of the actual lock itself, but it's a robust piece of steel in there that is moving back and forth to lock this thing, lock the blade up. And not only are you getting a robust lock, but because of its location and how it's disengaged, you get a very fun lock as well. So kind of get the best of both worlds. Now, what is it comparable to? We'll have to kind of wait for some of that info to maybe trickle out and or do some of our own testing, but so far the lock has been spectacular. We are looking at a nice drop point blade with a little top swedge there that rolls on from this flat. We're looking at S35VN, a nice tumble finish on this version. I believe they don't have any uncoated versions with this drop that they just did. And as far as I know, I'll have what I can link down below. This knife is available now, and there are several variations available. I think there's some that are gone, but there's some that are in stock as well. We are looking at anodized aluminum handles that have texturing done on them, and then we are looking at a deep carry steel rollover clip here, and it is going to be left hand friendly. I believe that is steel. Yeah, they didn't put a tie clip on this. Now, from what I remember, the price was like 130, 140 on these. And I don't know. You guys will have to let me know how you feel about that price. I think maybe it's a little high, in my opinion, for 140. Uh, Aluminum S35. I guess we'll have to see here. Why don't we get a quick spec check on this thing and see what kind of size we're working with. You have to let me know what you think. You know, we're sure to, that's something we have to remember too. We're looking at 7 inches overall, 3 inches of total blade, and just shy of 2.5 inches of cutting edge. We have to remember it's not just about it's S35 and it's just aluminum. We have to consider, multiple factors, and there's a lot of R&D that's went into this lock. So, and it's a lot more complex to do this lock. And that's why we saw, even with the On Kilo, the price was a little bit higher. And I think that's because there's a lot more that goes into the lock than we really see. We get to see the final product, and that's something that I have to be cognizant of, and something that others have to be cognizant of as well. We can't just boil it down to materials. So that is my fault for, jumping to that conclusion. I think a lot of people would, initially jump to that being a little bit high. But I think, let's get more into this, and we'll dive into some conclusions at the end. We'll bring out a couple of comparison knives. We have the Benchmade Bug Out up top and the Kaiser Drop Bear down there on the bottom. And it's going to be almost identical to the Bug Out's length, maybe just a smidge shorter than the Drop Bear. And then, of course, it'll be smaller than the Raccoon, its older brother, and the full-size Kaiser Militol. More of that mid-size knife, no question. One thing is for certain, I would definitely like it if this was even larger. I think we're going to have a good experience with the clip here. That's going to work well in and out of the pocket. Good retention. It looks very clean. It looks very simple. Great retention on the way out. Something like this, I get the idea, keeping this legal in a lot of places and still allowing a larger hand to fit on the knife comfortably. But now that this one's out here, I think an XL Akita, that needs to be done like a premium XL. That has to happen. We'll go ahead and get a weight check here. And we have full aluminum handles, and then we have that steel that is running in there for the lock. It has a little bit of heft to it, but it's not a large knife. Ooh. Get this over. Let's see. Boy. 3. It's 3. Boy, this might be tough. 3. It feels heavier than that. It feels like it's 4 ounces. 4 ounces. Oh, yeah. I was thinking it can't be 4 because it's not that big, but it is up there at 4. And when I doubt myself, I'm usually wrong in doubting myself. So I just stuck with it. That's just, come on. 112 grams for everyone else. And we're right there at that 4 ounce mark. So a good heft to the knife. Now, one thing people will be very interested to see is what we're looking at here for our handle thickness and our blade measurements here. And we're looking at 0.51 there. So very, very average in the thickness. So not bad at all. And 115 for the blade stock there. And we'll pick a random spot here for our behind the edge. Try to get a decent measurement here. And it's going to come down there around 22 thousandths behind the edge in that particular spot with that particular hold. But let's see how it cuts out of the box. We have our piece of phone book paper here. Let's see what kind of edge Vosteed sent this fellow with here. That was all me. Quiet, you. Good job. Very nice. Very nice. Great edge on it. S35, well-rounded steel. Aluminum with some texturing. Heavily chamfered all the way around the entire handle of the knife, which is excellent stuff there. I would say in most hands, this is going to be pretty comfortable. You have several spots you can be in. You can be in this very choked back grip in kind of a 3-finger grip. You can be kind of up on that flat. You can kind of squeeze in here underneath the pivot. And be in the finger choil there as well. So a couple of different grips you can get into with this thing. And with it being a more mid-sized knife, you're going to have a lot of control over this blade, especially with that finger choil, which is going to be very nice. I think most people would find that a 2.5-inch cutting edge is going to accomplish, most tasks, 90+% of tasks you're going to do with an EDC knife. After a certain point, it just becomes personal preference, right? But yeah, this size will definitely get the job done. As far as centering, it's on the money. There's no detent lash in there. We have no pivot lashing. The lock is solid, and we're going to check that here in a minute. As far as the opening methods, the cutout there, I feel like it's well placed. I can thumb flick this thing out, reverse flick it, and then we also have a front flipper here with some jimping on it. And seemingly right now, it feels pretty good and pretty grippy. And this is snappy. Really, really snappy. They seem to have even dialed this in just a little bit more than the on Kilo. Let's go ahead and we'll check that lock. So we'll get old trusty spine whacker out here and see what we're looking at. Start out there towards the tip. There's no movement in there. I don't think we'll have any trouble. We'll close it, check it in the middle of the blade. Give it a couple of taps there, close it, check it. Very good. No changes. Feels very good. Those are some things I do after the video. I'm going to start including that, just kind of giving the knife a once over and double checking everything. I figured that's something that should be included, kind of what I do after I'm done with the video. So now we'll just include that in the video. But yeah, the Akita going to be another hit for Vosteed. I know there's been some videos out there, probably a bunch at this point, and some of you may know about it, some of you don't. I feel like it's a solid knife, and I wouldn't be mad about picking it up at that price. With the lock, you know, and that's something we don't know. The materials are great, S35 and aluminum, and then you figure the lock in there and what goes into that. And as I said, I should have popped up some pictures of that. So it's a more intricate lock, and I think this is one of their more refined non-premium knives. So it's not a budget knife, but it's not one of their $200+ knives either. And handling quite a few Vosteeds, this thing just feels really refined, and everything is well executed. The main miss for me is going to be no filler tab, which is weird. They usually include that. Just a satin one, you know, or a blasted one would have worked beautifully. We have that lanyard tube there. That would be about my main gripe with this knife here, and I want to see an XL. Other than that, the price is a touch high still, I think, possibly. You know, you'll have to let me know. I know the machining goes into it, but it's overpriced a little in my opinion, and it might not be. And even if it is a little higher in price, I feel like it's, you know, still in S35 with the finishing and the aluminum. Probably still looking at 120, you know, 110, 120. So, you know, maybe I'm just off on, you know, a little bit with the lock there. I know there's a lot more that goes into it than just a standard liner lock or frame lock, especially a frame lock or bolster style lock. There's a lot more that goes into it. So maybe that's where I'm missing. You guys will have to let me know what you think of the Akita down in the comments. Love hearing from you on these new knives and these companies. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. It helps push the video out there to more people. If you're new to the channel here and you enjoy this type of content, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe because I release daily videos just like this. I'll put up a couple of new videos on your screen. YouTube is recommending you go check out that one right there. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.